Hello, and welcome back to your South King County real estate update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, and I bring the local real estate news to you Fridays weekly at 3 p.m. So thank you so much for tuning in today. It is a warm one out there, so I'm trying to remember to stay hydrated. But I am super excited to bring you your South King County real estate news for this week. There's some interesting stuff in here, so I'll go ahead and jump into my slides. Nope. There is right there. So, perfect. I think I have the right screen up. That was a little confusing. Sorry about that. But thank you so much for joining me. As I said before, my name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott. Today's June 25th. So that is way further through the year than I can even believe that it currently is. So just a quick little update. I do have a home on the market in Southeast Seattle. It is a 5-bedroom for $699,999. So $700,000 for this 5-bedroom on a huge lot. It currently, with the zoning, you can build an ADU on it. It's surrounded by nature. Just a short walk away from Kubota Garden, which if you haven't been there, I highly recommend you check it out. It is an adorable little Japanese garden that you can wander around. There's lots of shade. So maybe not on Sunday or Monday when it's supposed to be like ridiculously hot, but maybe during this warm weather, if you have a chance, go check it out. So what happened this week? Well, I have, for the last couple of weeks, been sharing a little bit of kind of this feeling that I have talking with other agents in the industry and what I'm personally experiencing. And there's been a lot more listing side struggles and buyer side wins. So that is honestly a pretty encouraging. Buyers have had a really tough go of it this year. So, I mean, it's not encouraging for sellers, although we are still in a very strong seller's market. But the pendulum's starting to shift the other way, and buyers are starting to see a little bit of a relief after several months of just crazy struggles. So this week, I actually wrote up 2 offers on Sunday. One of them, the offer review wasn't until Tuesday. So we held off on issuing it until that morning. And the other one, offer review, was on Monday. So we sent that one off Sunday night. And Monday, late in the day, I was actually spending some time with my husband in the Cedar River because it is wonderful this time of year, and got the alert that our offer had been accepted. So that is the first time I've had an offer accepted while standing in a river. So that was kind of a fun experience. And I am just so pleased that my client got this home. It was the first offer that we wrote together, like her first offer that she submitted, and it got accepted, which I have a feeling that if she had contacted me a couple months ago and we'd started hunting, that might not have been the case. We may have had to put in a few offers because, yeah, just the price point she's at is like insanely competitive. So I am just really excited that we got our first offer accepted, and we're moving forward with this cute little house in Tacoma. All right, I'll jump back into slides. All right, so in the news this week, this is for national news. Existing home sales fall again as prices continue to soar. So these are resale homes, homes that have been lived in and now they're being sold again. And it's the fourth straight month that we've had a decrease in the number of homes that have sold. However, the median sales price nationwide topped at $350,000 last month, which, granted, we live in a very high priced area, so $350,000 doesn't sound like too extreme, but nationwide to have this as the average is crazy. So yeah, it's just interesting to see how much and how fast these home prices are going up. And I did think this was a little bit interesting or important to point out, I guess. The housing market also increasingly reflects growing wealth and income disparities stemming from the pandemic. So a lot of people, those white collar workers in the tech industry, they were able to keep their jobs, keep running at full bore, and really, I mean, other than maybe working from home, their financial situation either stayed pretty much the same or increased in over the past year. Whereas those people in the lower paying jobs, service industry, hotels, restaurants, those types of jobs that generally pay less anyway, those people have had hours cut back or not been working at all. So it is creating a wider gap of financial inequality just through the pandemic. And we are definitely seeing that. And also, we are seeing these big Wall Street acquisition companies coming in and buying these homes. So there's, I mean, the individual cannot compete with the amount of cash that these institutions have. So they're coming in and buying up homes and driving up the price of those lower priced homes. So first time home buyers are really feeling the squeeze this year from a number of sides. They've got the the raising prices, lack of inventory, these investment companies coming in and buying up the inventory that would normally go to a first time home buyer. So that segment has been struggling more than most on the housing front. And the buyer fatigue is real. There's a lot of people that have stopped searching. I have a couple people that kind of like looked at a couple homes and then backed off. And there's so many people that I've talked to in my office and in the industry that we're working with clients and put in several offers, and clients are like, you know what? I'm tired. I need a break. I can't do this. I want to go on vacation with my family. Let's put the house hunt on hold for a while. So you can see these are the 7 realities of buyer fatigue. We have high median price, low inventory, record number of homes selling above the list price, record low days on market, record low mortgage rates, and half the houses in April went pending in less than 1 week. And this is nationwide. So this is not just our area. This is expanding out to the rest of the nation as well. And 19% of the homes sold in April had their appraised value come in below the contract price. Low appraisals, I've been hearing more and more about low appraisals. May and June, the number of low appraisals coming in May was higher, and June yet to be seen, but I can't imagine that it would do anything other than go higher at this point. So there was a surprise 5.9% drop in new home sales while the prices hit record highs. So this came from the Seattle Times a couple days ago. The new home sales fell 5.9%, and really it was a lot higher fall on the new home price purchase of new home prices than was really expected, while the median home price for these new homes went up. It's gone up 18.1% from a year ago. So we've got shortage of homes on the market. So a higher percentage of the homes on the market are construction than normal because we're just not having those resale homes come to the market. The cost of lumber is going up, the building materials. There's been a lot of problems with supply chains and, just getting the workers healthy and producing the lumber. The cost of lumber has just gone up so much because of all of the pandemic resistance that was happening in that industry. And the inventory for new home sales, I thought this was interesting, did come up in May 4.8% from the end of April, but new homes increased in May from April, but came down a little bit. Wasn't as high of a gain this past month. But the declines in new homes for sale, the declines in the amount of new homes sold really varies by region. And actually here in the Northwest, we had a 33.3% gain. So this article I wanted to point out is something that people are talking about, but this is one of those things that's more area specific, and our area is not experiencing the lack of new home sales like the rest of the nation. So Inslee this past week did announce an eviction moratorium bridge. There was an extension of the Seattle eviction moratorium, which I mentioned last week, and predicted that there would be some sort of extension that I would be able to talk about this week, because the current eviction moratorium is supposed to end June 30th. And that's like 5 days away, and all of the infrastructure, the programs that they have in place to help the renters, help the landlords once this lifts, isn't in place yet. They're still working on getting all the organization in place to have these programs be able to provide the support for the renters and landlords that is needed. So there is a bridge that's been announced, and that is going to hopefully bridge the gap between the end of the eviction moratorium and when these programs can actually get support to these people. So landlords are prohibited from treating unpaid rent or other changes continued, just like the eviction moratorium. They're not allowed to kick people out without making reasonable repayment plan, giving them their tenant options for repayment of the debt. And August 1st, renters are expected to pay in full. Reduced rent can be negotiated with the landlord, or there should be funding available by that point. And that brings us to our Market Stat Minute. We had 1,131 new listings in King County in the last 7 days, 1,096 pending, and 1,085 sold. So you can see we don't have that many big changes from last week. We have a few fewer pendings, a few more listings, but really we're staying around the same place on the graph. And as for showings, we're staying pretty much the same on showings as we have been in the last last week or so. And for mortgage rates, last week we were at a weekly average rate of 2.93, which I discussed last week why that wasn't on Friday, the rate. But we have a similar situation again this week. The mortgage rate this week is, it says it climbed to 3.02. But if we look at this is a rate sheet from yesterday, today's hadn't come out yet. So this is 3.2 for yesterday, where, yeah, that's obviously higher than the week before instead of the opposite, like the average rates say. So what's up with this discrepancy? This is often the case where the weekly rate that comes out in all of the news articles released by Freddie Mac, that's kind of a Monday rate. They send out the survey on Monday. Lenders generally fill out their survey and send it back right away, but they have until the end of day on Wednesday to send it back. So really, the weekly average rate is kind of a snapshot of generally what Monday was like. So since then, we have actually had an improvement in rates. So over the last 4 days, things have gotten better. And just a reminder, I talked about this briefly last week, but this is something that is shared in my office fairly regularly. A 1% rise in interest rates can mean a 10 to 12% decrease in buying ability. So if the rates are 3.25 for this, just under $3,000 monthly rate, you get a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. These are just a couple examples from last month. And this is really nice, updated everything. Whereas if it's 4.25, your $282,000 price point goes down to $590, getting you something that's, still 4-bed, 2.5 bath, but it's smaller, it's older. This is new construction with over on the 3.25 side. And this is, a bit more dated. So interest rates really do make a huge difference on a buyer's purchasing power. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation about what's happening in the real estate market in your area. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today or anything you're hearing in the news, just reach out. I would be happy to provide some clarity. And thank you so much for joining me. I will be back here at 3 p.m. next Friday for another episode of your South King County Real Estate Update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody who may find it valuable. If you know somebody who's thinking about buying or selling in the real estate industry in the next year or so, please send this video to them. It is important to stay up to date on what's happening in the industry if you are thinking about making a move. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week at 3 p.m. on Friday.